And so we begin. Welcome to Serra, July class 2006. We have a lot of new blood here tonight. This place has represented a home, spiritual home for many people for over 25 years, and there's something about the holy hush as you're coming up the highway and coming up the hill that takes you over. And what was coming to me was how if any of us think we have a choice of being on the path or not. And we've certainly had an example, or being here if you're not meant to be here. We had an example of that as most classes. There's usually a battle that goes on with some of the newer people that, should I be there, should I not? You know, will the world go on without me? It's not uncommon. It used to happen to me for about 5 years. Every class I signed up for, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be there or how I would get there. So if you had a struggle with that and then found yourself picked up and just floated up here anyway, it's sort of a clue that you're not running your show. And perhaps that there is no decisions to really make other than to decide to be as quiet and listen as closely as you can to that still small voice. Retreat is called the silent splendor. Once we taste it, once it touches us, once it grabs us, we can't get enough. So any of you thinking, well, maybe I'll get out of here and go have a really terrific drama and good life out there and create a good story, one I really want to live. Good luck, you know. We had a teacher who used to put a sign on the wall, abandon all hope, ye who enter here. And I love that, because I thrived on getting it right, getting a story I liked, living a life that I thought would make me happy, joyous, and free. And what's fun is you find out you are. And but it doesn't look like what we think that would look like. The people around us just don't do what it is that we know. We make it all work. If only they could hear, if only they could listen, you know. If only we could design. I ran across I have little pieces of paper all over. I love this one. The higher one climbs on the spiritual ladder, the more he will grant others their own freedom and give less interference to another state of consciousness. I love that. Less interference. We're here for different reasons. Some come to get out of all of that. Some come to hopefully create a better out there. Some come because they know there is none, and all there is here now. This presence sitting and basking in the glory of absolute oneness with your divine spirit. I've come to love this particular room. I used to like the other one because you could see out to the ocean, and I've come to love this one because of the womb that it seems to create, and I love the womb of silence. And I love going out, but I love coming in. And it's as the sea does. You know, we talk a lot about silence, silence, silence. The silence is never not. But I'm perhaps not. But the silence is never a place to go or a place to reach for. It is what I am. I am the silence when the little I is out of the way. There's never any darkness, only absence of light. There's really never any noise, only absence of my awareness of the silence. And when they all call you and they want something and they need something, and your friends and your loved ones are hurting, or their stories are getting pretty dramatic, and you think, well, what can I do? What principle can I work? What can I give them? They want but one thing, and that is recognition of their own divinity, therein inherent within who they are. And the Christ said, can you not watch 1 hour with me? Know ye not who I am? That's all. That's all we have with anyone. Ah, you forgot who you are. I remember. And how about ourselves? How often do we pick that part of us up and say, ah, I forgot. Right here where I am is the presence of God. And so we begin our week. You don't know that there'll be much classwork. What has come to me, I've been working very strongly with some of the 63 work of Joel's. We're going to have 3 of those tapes played during this week. And last week, Bud had a copy of this latest book of Walter Starkey's called I and Joel Goldsmith. And in there, a tape was mentioned. I'll tell you more about it later, but I know it is to be played probably perhaps in the morning. Sometimes I like to play the tapes in the morning when we're more awake and we're not nodding out. And then we have transcripts for another tape, both sides, and I'm going to pass them out so that you can be working with them in the silence as you wander around, if you choose. One thing about this class is it's your class. Each one of you designs it to meet your particular spiritual need, and we come together in here to join in consciousness and out there. Many of us will want to be silent the whole time. That is what the provision is for. But if you find you need to talk, that is strictly between you and your God self, and whoever else might want to do that. The tables and at the meals, some people, there's a lot of new people who've never even been to Serra before. So just logistically speaking, they have changed all of our meal times. So the schedules we made up are going to be a little confusing, but we will post one on the door. But basically, they've moved our breakfast and our dinner earlier, half an hour. So tomorrow morning, the meditation in this room will be at 7 a.m., breakfast at 7:30, not what the schedule says. And then our class at 10 in the morning will be the same in here. It may be silent, it may be a tape, or I may be led to say something. But we all come together at 7 for meditation, 10, and then again at We have dinner at 5:30, and then we come back. We're going to move our evening up to the 7 p.m. rather than 7:30 from now on, since they moved their dinner up. Also, we probably can have the chapel in the evening to have our meditation in. Helen, can you get in the chapel? Is there a ramp? Yeah, there is. There's a ramp. Yeah, otherwise I won't go up there. We won't do that. I think there's a ramp. We'll check on that. Also, for new people, the bathrooms, interestingly enough, if you put your light on from your side of the room, a light will light up in your fellow bathroom mate's room. You don't have to always just lock the door and unlock it and make that noise. You can just flip your switch and the light will go on in their room telling them that the bathroom's occupied. I'm not going to see people privately this time. What I do have is on the piano is a big basket, and it says questions and concerns, and I'd like you to write them out and put them in there, because I find that there is no one here with any unique situation that one of us or the other hasn't had, will have, or needs to hear about. So any concerns you may have, place in the basket. They will be addressed at some time. Can you not watch 1 hour with me? What is it we're watching? What is it we're doing? Stopping all thoughts? No. Being, perhaps? You're listening. What is it you're listening to? Are you listening to the drama in the head and the stories? Or are you lifting into the awareness of the presence of God here, now? As you go through the 3 days of silence, if you get squirrely, take out a pen and paper and write the squirrely thoughts, and it's amazing how they stop. You just run out of steam. But don't sit in the discomfort and agonize yourself. Get up and go for a walk. Write, ask God to quiet you. One of the best ways I learned to meditate was by simply saying, God, meditate me. Show me what meditation is for me. And then the awareness exercise that Barbara gave us, teaching us how to drop instantly, in the moment, into the silence, right now, right here, boom. There it is. Right between the claps. There it is. That holy hush, and once we grasp it, there's another and another, and we can just be. And heaven on earth takes over. The truth being, my awareness of heaven on earth takes over, for it never isn't. It is always I, here, now, living its life as you, as me, and we become the watcher of life living. So hard to know there's really nothing to do. Let be. And we rest, and we become consciously aware of the presence, and the story dissolves, and the drama lays down gently when we don't fight it and resist it, condemn it, just allowing. Oh, there it is again, getting more creative this week than last week, trying to convince me that something other than God is present, that there is a power other than God trying to scare or distract me from knowing it is I. Be still and know it is I. And eventually the roller coaster rides stop. When we are no longer entertained by the highs and the lows, and we come to neutral, it just is, and then we bask. And there we are, moment by moment, God living its life. And the little self gets threatened and battles all the harder for attention, knowing it will cease as God takes over. So resting back, being aware of I, here now, and then this is an opportunity to stretch your meditation muscle further than you've ever stretched it before by increasing your awareness as though you are expanding it out. Increase the awareness of the silence that lies behind I. There it is. My God's indwelling place. Home. Come home. And let God be God. Sin on and trust God. My mentor used to tell me, sin on and trust God. For there is no sin anyway. Just this drama. And there we are, home, present at last, increasing It is allowing. Nothing to do but breathe in and breathe out. Breathing in that silent splendor. Meditation is not to be done with the mind. That's the wrong tool. It's to be done with the awareness faculty, laying the mind down and allowing the mind to become the instrument for the awareness consciousness faculty. Be gentle with the mind, for it is struggling to tell you everything you ever put in there.